and welcome aboard the Tabletop Express. My name is Chris. This is not my video, but I'm here with Dan Nixon. Dan is here with representation for the comic book Yeti. You're not seeing Tyler, who's also part of his video, but nature has served a purpose of apparently trying to stop him from doing this video. So as he fights a tornado, I'm envisioning, Dan, by the way, Tyler out there fighting a tornado.
It's full on twisters.
Yes, it's full on twisters. So I'm gonna pop in here. We're gonna try to bring Tyler in, but you are at the top 20 best board games of all time for Dan and Tyler of the comic book Yeti, members of the Tabletop Express community. And yeah, I'm gonna give a shot to bring in Tyler really quick right now before we get into the list. But I do want to take a moment to thank everyone for being here. I see Ian, I see Ryan, I see Danielle, I see Sarah is definitely doing that. Let's see. I'm gonna give it a shot, but we're gonna find out. And it's a black screen. It's a black screen. So
there's no power, so
we're gonna he's trying to operate off a hotspot. But in the meantime, I am going to step in here and we're going to start with Dan's list and hopefully be able to get over to Tyler's list once we see that as possible. But Dan, let me ask you this. Talk to me a little bit about making your list and what you think about when you're making a top 20 list. Because I know you participated in the past in our top 20, community list, but this is your first time with an official list.
Yeah, the last couple of years, you guys have done your community list. I've contributed to that. Last year, I sat in with Anthony for his top 20 list. So very excited that you gave Comic Book Yeti a platform here to show theirs. I kind of look at this list as not only my top favorite 20 games personally, but also I kind of lump in the experience of that game or like my narrative with that game throughout gaming. So there's a couple games on here that maybe like the story behind how and why I play them, it factors into why they're in my top 20. Not that I just think they're the top 20 best games out there.
Absolutely. Well, let's jump right into it. Let's jump right into this. And again, we hope Tyler's going to be able to join. If not, we're going to make sure Tyler has his chance to shine because as you see on this big board, we have a lot of picks. We're going to start with your number 20, the big board, by the way. Thank you to Ryan Espin, co-conductor here on the Express, for putting together this wonderful big board. And as you will see, as we go through this series, this is the second video in the series, you're going to start to see the crossovers that are going to show up across the list. So it's always fun to see all the ways that we cross over as a community, and excited to see that. So let's jump right into it. Near number 20, Dan, tell me about it.
Absolutely. So, I mean, gaming for all of us starts when we were young with the normal board games and party games. So I'm kind of starting the top with a party game here, but it's more of a gamer's party game. So we're bringing in deduction, we're bringing in hidden roles. And my favorite iteration of this kind of game is a game called Secret Hitler. This is a game that is 5 to 10 players with two teams where you have your liberals, your fascists. You're trying to pass policies to get your team to win. Liberals don't know who anyone is. Fascists know who is on their team and who Hitler is, but Hitler doesn't know who anyone else is either. So you're trying to, weed out who's who. You're trying to put trust into people, not get backstabbed. And you could have that perfectly mapped out, but the cards might not go your way because what you do is you get 3 of these tile cards you can see in the middle picture there, and they're either a fascist policy or a liberal policy. You're going to take two of those, or 3 of those. You're going to discard 1. You're going to give 2 to your chancellor, who you pick and have to get approved as a vote to go forward. And then they, from those 2 cards, play the card that they want to play. Then you can discuss. You can say, oh, I gave him a choice of what to play, and he played a liberal card, so we can trust him. Or maybe he was a fascist and he played that early in the game to gain trust to stab you in the back later. Or maybe right off the bat, you lie. He's saying one thing, you're saying one thing, and everyone doesn't know what's going on, and there's chaos, and everyone's screaming, "You're a fascist! You're a Hitler! You're a fascist!" It once the right group starts playing, and you just embrace the silliness and the craziness of it, it's a fun time. It's definitely a hit or miss game with some people, but you get that right crew, you're yelling, you're playing, you remember the one time that someone stabbed someone in the back and you elected Hitler as chancellor and they auto won the game, or you remember when someone killed someone and you knew it wasn't the right person, it was someone on the Liberal team, and you're laughing. It brings up a lot of fun moments. And like I said, the history of this game and the playing with it is a reason that I put it on my top 10 or my top 20.
Right.
Kind of near the end, though, or the top of the 20, close as opposed to closer to 1. Right,
because you've had, again, this is a game it's been busted out for. It's 2016, so it's still fairly. It's new in a lot of ways, but it's not
right
like new the past few years. So because I've never played this one, but I know a lot of people who have enjoyed it as a party game. So hasn't been one that I've played, but definitely heard heard a lot of fun about it. And it's 10 years old now, which is crazy, but there's a lot older games at this point, as Ryan points out. 10 years old. Yeah,
and there are a lot of other deduction hidden roll games. Some can be quicker, others can be maybe longer, more campaignish-y, but this one's good. And it also has a print and play, or you can buy like a custom deck. If the Hitler theme Nazi thing isn't attractive to you, you can try Secret Palpatine.
Yep. Yeah. No. I know there's been varieties on it because the theme might throw some people off for obvious reasons. But that's your number 20. And their number 19 is, again, we're going to hope Tyler can join, but we're going to keep proceeding through your top 20 in the meantime. So talk to me about number 19.
Yeah. So 19, again, I'm going to stick with a party game, but I'm kind of going to go just straight up party game this time. But it's also a combination of party games, and it's one that I am always willing to play, always willing to suggest to any group, any player count, and I don't think I've ever played and not laughed a lot of this game. This game is Time's Up, specifically the Time's Up title recall version of this.
And before I do anything, Tyler is in the true Iron Man form, because he was the Iron Man for Call Aboard for such a long time. It looks like he's come in through his phone to participate here. So I'm leaving. I'm bringing Tyler in. We're going to make sure, Tyler, you made it happen.
We're awesome. Good. I'm going to throw this out there. I'm going to need some assistance on my top 20 here. I know most of it, but for those of you not in Wisconsin right now, there was a pretty bad storm that came through town. And I'm without power until 11 o'clock tonight. So I may or may not be in a parking lot by a library to get Wi-Fi to call in.
Look, you just took it up a level. I'm leaving on that note. Guys, I got the board under control for you. You take over, talk about Time's Up, title recall, and then we'll go over to Tyler's number 20 and then Tyler's number 19 and proceed as normal.
Absolutely.
You are dedicated, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the dedication of going to a library parking lot, that's pretty good.
We're working through it.
All right. So, brief recap: 20, Secret Hitler. Okay. 19, Time's Up title recall. Real brief for Time's Up title recall. It's, if you've ever heard of Salad Bowl, Fish Bowl, also a game called Monikers, it's all kind of the same thing. So you get a deck of cards that you can see on this picture here. There's a blue side and an orange side. It's just to give more options. You play one color, but it's different things like movies, TV shows, art, books, and everyone gets a couple cards so they can know a couple, and then you put them in the deck, shuffle them up, and you start playing 3 rounds of this game. The first round is basically catchphrase. You're trying to get them to guess your clue, your word, with any clue imaginable except saying the word, right? So if it's like,
Right.
Braveheart, Mel Gibson, William Wallace, Scotland, things like that, you can't pass. So if you get stuck on one, you're stuck. It goes through the entire deck, and all the answers get picked, and then the same deck gets reshuffled again, and in the next round you have to say one word, and that's the only clue you can give to guess your card. The team gets one guess, but you can pass. Then third round comes, same deck, shuffle them up, and it's acted out. So now you have to act out the card. You can pass. Your team gets one guess at it. And the connections, or the way that you tend to get people to guess your card by the second and third round, a lot of times don't even pertain to the clue itself. And I've never not laughed out loud and long while playing this game.
I've played this like once or twice. I know there may have been some beverages included when this was being played.
Yeah. It definitely, while some people, it might make them not do as well, it'll definitely bring the laughs up on this one.
Yeah.
All right. So
I do. Yeah. So like I said, I may need some assistance from the board as we go through, but I do know number 20. This is a game that we first played at PAX Unplugged. Ooh. It was a very small game, and one that I've now, since I believe I've gotten four or five other people to buy, and it is In Vino Marte.
One of the ones I missed.
So it is, if you've ever seen The Princess Bride, this is essentially Princess Bride in a nutshell. Just classic button shy game. There's 18 cards in there, and really you're just passing out a card. There's got to be one wine, one poison. Simple rules at that. Each person gets a card, and you are either going to drink or you're going to exchange with somebody. So if you drink it and it's wine, you live. If it's poison, then you die. So it's one of those where the person is passing out the cards, and it's a little reverse psychology. It's a blast. It's a great party game. It can play as many as he wants, depending on the amount of sets of the game that you do have. So you can't go wrong with it.
So is it pretty much like, is it a blind guess, or is there any way you can obtain information to maybe know what the cards are?
No, unless if you like make eye contact with the person that handed out the card, then you could maybe guess what it is. But if you don't know that, and maybe you don't know the person, it's someone else's significant other that you haven't played many games with, you're going into it blind and you have no clue.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's a great one. I highly recommend it, and I bring it pretty much everywhere where I know people aren't going to know many board games. So moving on.
And I unfortunately missed out on that one at PAX Unplugged. Heard a lot of stories about it.
Next year we'll bring it for sure. Next one, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, you may want to click that. It should be Three Witches, which is another PAX Unplugged game that snuck in there recently. And it's a trick taker, but it's a unique twist on it because it's a 3-player, and it has to be 3-player trick taker game. So you're either the greater witch or the lesser witch. And it's really interesting trying to debate which cards you play. And if you win the trick as the greater witch, you get to determine which of the 2 cards that you play you get to keep. And then if the lesser witches win the trick, then they get to decide which one you keep. So it's a way to either force them to take more as you're trying to guess the amount of tricks that you're going to win. But then it's also going to put it on the other people in determining, can I win 3 tricks or I can win 4 tricks? It's a real debate there. Great game. It's all play. And this is one believe it sold out the Friday of PAX Unplugged. And I pretty much try to bring this and introduce it to everybody that I know that enjoys trick takers. So it's one of those I will always enjoy, and it'll always be traveling with me no matter what.
Nice. And 2025 was kind of, the year of trick taking with a twist.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, I won't ask if you have any more on the list, but being your 19th favorite game of all time, I'm assuming it's one, if not two.
There may be another in there. We'll see where it shows up if it does.
Okay. So now we're going to my number 18, and one of my favorite ways to game is 2-player games, and one of my favorite 2-player games is one of the more recent 2-player games. And if I'm lying. I finally have played this live, and when a lot of people say that it is fun on BGA, but it's even more fun live, this is definitely true for this game. And this game is Dracula vs. Van Helsing. Yeah. And this is kind of trick taking adjacent, right? Because one player is Dracula and one player is Van Helsing, and you get 5 cards dealt to you. From, I think it's 1 to 8 are the values, and each one of the card, what the value is, also has a special ability with it. There's a trump color where that color will win the trick, but in this, tricks are regions of London, I guess, and there are 5 different regions. So, and there are humans in those regions. And Dracula is trying to turn the humans into vampires, and Van Helsing is trying to take Dracula's hit points down. And it happens from left to right, so from District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's very much a tug between you willing, if you're playing as Van Helsing, willing to sacrifice some of your humans being turned into vampires in order to win other districts to take the damage. And for Dracula, it's kind of focusing on one district to turn the 4 citizens into vampires as quickly as possible. And the way that you move your cards is very nice, with the different special powers attached to the value of the cards. So one of them lets you switch 2 of your cards. One of them lets you switch a card with your opponent. Another one changes the trump suit. Another one ends the game immediately, or ends the round immediately. And whoever wins each district, they either turn a vampire or take a hit point off of Dracula. And it's such a good BGA game because you can take your turn and then come back to 3 days later, and you don't need to know what your strategy was. You can just look straight at the board and remember what to do. Oh, we lost Tyler. But playing it in person is fun too, because the cards, the card holder, and doing the ability and seeing your opponent's reaction is a fun way to play the game as well. So that was my number 18, Dracula vs. Van Helsing. Oh, he's back.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I've played this a handful of times. I'm pretty sure Barrows was the one. I think I've played it once or twice with you as well on BGA. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it. It's one that I am not very good at by any means, but it's one of those that I may have won with Van Helsing, but I definitely have never won with Dracula in any of my plays.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a favorite of who to play as either, and I leave it up to randomness of BGA to give me whoever I want, and then just attack it both sides. It's a fun one. Yeah,
for sure. All right. My number 18, gonna need a little bit more assistance here. That is Vantage, and I may make a prediction that this will show up on someone else's list, most likely in this in the series here of top 20s. But Vantage, it's the ultimate storytelling game. Build your own adventure. I don't know if I'll play this more than 4 players because of the amount of time that it takes with it, but the dice rolling, the stories, describing the pictures of where may have answered that, but we'll see where it is. Yeah, so it's one of those, and you can see Chris's dog on there as well, and it's great. So there's so many different cards in there. I want to say there's something like 1,800 cards in the box themselves, and never knowing what location you're going to. The goal that you're looking for is going to always change, and where you start is going to take you in different directions moving forward in every single game. And then if you really want to be an overachiever as you progress through it, you can try to achieve your destiny, which is an additional goal on top of that. And it makes it that amazing trying to work through the game, because you can die in a matter of 2 turns if your rolls are poor and you're playing and you don't have the tokens to block it, or you don't have an opponent, someone else to play with you and do that. And yeah, and I love it solo. I need to play it more solo. So it's one of those that I see only rising on my list, if anything.
Yeah. When this came out, I mean, people were hitting this hard, right? People were doing it solo. People were going to Discord playing. Has it cooled only because you have other games that you want to play, or has it cooled because maybe you're getting past it, but you recognize how great it is?
I think it may have cooled because of some other games later on my list. That I want to get to and play more of. And I think that's one of those things. So I'll probably hit 10 plays of it this year, which by no means is nothing. So it's one of those that will definitely be played a lot, and it's just not as much as some others higher up near the list. So
I have not played this one yet, but I do have my eye on marketplace, secondhand, clearance aisles. So we'll see. All right, so now we are on to my 17. And this is, I mean, I saw this game and knew it would be a game I liked. I saw this game, I knew it would be a game my brother liked. I assumed it would be the game that we play most together, and it is. And this is basically Star Wars in a box. It is Star Wars Rebellion.
Yeah.
This game is like one player is the Empire, one player is the Rebellion, and you play out A New Hope. Now, you can try and follow if you want to the movies, but why would you do that? You want to do different things. You're going to do different strategies. And what this is you're trying to, as the Empire, you're trying to find the Rebellion base and blow it up. As the Rebellion, you're trying to, now I might mess this up, last long enough or get enough support from different planets to support the Rebellion. But the way you're doing is you're playing, you have cards, you're playing your characters to these cards are missions, you're playing them out to the board, you're producing ground troops, ground vehicles, part of your fleet. So like if you're the Rebellion, you're making Star Destroyers, you can make a second Death Star. It's just, you're trying to, you can convert people to the dark side, so you can capture someone and convert them. It's so amazing, and how fun that they capture Star Wars in a 2-player war style game on a map. You can play 4 players. I do not recommend it at all. Basically, 1 player is an admiral, 1 player is a general, and it doesn't work. Just play it 2 players, and it's just so fun. Like having Han try and recruit people, having Leia doing missions as the Death Star just blowing up planets. And if you like Star Wars, I feel you're going to like this game. It is a rule. Like the rule book is thick. It does take a while to get going. I don't play it frequently enough to remember the rules as soon as I sit down, but it is good. And yeah, Espen saying the expansion is a must. I got that for my brother one year. we haven't played it since we've got the expansion, but it adds some Rogue One characters. I hear it jiggles a little bit with combat, which is something that some people said need a little changing too. So yeah, Star Wars in the box, Star Wars Rebellion. So it is your 17.
Okay. What's the time? Sorry, I must have cut out there a little bit. What's the time to play a 2-player game of Rebellion?
I mean, if it's not a learning game, I'm gonna say 2.
Okay, it's not bad.
I mean, but more likely 3+.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. It's a game where you can play, take a break to eat some lunch, and go back.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. All right. My number 17, and Chris, yeah, go ahead, is Orleans. It is a crossover with Espen. I've played this so many times, and I actually just got the new 5th anniversary version of the game that has everything and anything with it. And I played the Plague recently with it. Nasty game. It's, I mean, you can play this very normal, very friendly, not have any bad interaction, but it's a nice little deck, or like a bag builder, a little builder type game in own. So it's you're building your own deck. So, and it's one of those that you're trying different things each time. There's different boards. There's the invasion. There's probably 3 or 4 different boards that you can play with, 2 different expansions, so many different additional items with it that you can play, that you're not doing the same thing any single time. And I know Espen can attest for it. It's also an easy one to teach a lot of people too. It's not overly difficult, but it gives you that different strategy with every play that you can win in many different ways too.
Are the different boards in the base game, or do you have to buy them separately?
I think you have to buy them separately with the expansion. With the 25th anniversary box that I have, everything comes in that. So I will say it's a bit pricey. Don't ask, but it's one of those that everything with it. It's a really good game, even just base. If you're finding it just the base game, second hand, an older version of it, still a good add to your collection, because there's always going to be something unique with it. And the old version, you're pulling chips, which is super fun. I know a lot of people that I know Ryan Chandler does a lot of like coin capsules stuff with that type of stuff. You could do that there and have that kind of fun of pulling it from a bag. So a really good one, and one that'll persistently be here, but may maneuver slightly.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is one that I know from all like lists, and it's kind of like a lot of people might call it like an essential game to have in your collection. I've never come across it, never played it. So definitely one I'm looking forward to playing and seeing, and definitely would probably be added to my collection when I play.
Yeah.
All right. So number 16. This is a game that very early I was introduced to, around the same time I was introduced to this channel. And I think at the time it was maybe the game of the channel, which a lot of people played, a lot of people bought, a lot of people got other people to buy. And that game is Spots. This is a push your luck dice rolling game where you're just trying to cover up dice pips on dog cards through what they call tricks. And the tricks are basically different ways that you're rolling your dice, or that you're obtaining dog bone treats, which let you re-roll your dice. This can be played with your kids. This can be played with your parents. This can be played with hardcore gamers. This can be played with casual gamers. they might not all love it as much as I do. They might play it once and go, "Oh, that's cute. I've played it. I'll move on." But if I will constantly play this game with whoever wants to play it. I loved introducing people to it. It's one of the games that I push on, and right there's a kid right there saying it's in our top 10. It's really fun. The dog cards are so cute. I think everyone knows. Is it Bert with the one?
Yeah. I was just going to ask what your favorite is, because Bert is the go-to for myself. They just can't go wrong with it. I know everyone has a fan favorite for their favorite dog.
And then the cow too. I forget what the cow's name is.
Yeah.
That's a good one too. But, and I very much like how there's more than one set of tricks you can do. And they even have the version where you just stack them all. And when you use one, you put it underneath, and the next one's the one that you use next round. That's a good way for variability and to keep the game fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, I've taught a bunch of like non-gamer friends this. Mm-hmm. I know one buddy of mine, we played it, and he's like, I'm like, all right, what do you want to do? Do you just want to hang out and talk? He's like, no, I want to play this again. Let's keep going. And it's one of those. And then he asks like, okay, where do I get it? I'm like, all right, go get it here. And so it's a great intro, and you can't, all ages. There's not one specific that is just going to enjoy it.
Yep, great game.
All right, my number 16 here. Need a little assistance here. Halls of Hegra. This one, I was brought to my attention by Espen himself, coincidentally from a play here on Tabletop Express, and it was a late back on Kickstarter, GameFound, maybe one of those two, and this is the epitome of a solo game that you really have no control over. It's you're defending a castle, defending essentially in a way with it, because you are working to try to get resources cross back from the war field, get it back to your area, and try to do all these actions to defend off the enemy. And I think I've maybe won it once of my 4 plays that I have of this, and I haven't seen all of the cards in the game. It's one of those, there's something unique in every play. I haven't played with the missions or the goals that you're trying to achieve within the game itself, but the base game itself, without the additional add-ons, there's so much here. And it takes a couple hours to play solo, but it's one of those that no matter what, you're in for something new. You're going to see the radio tower, or you're going to get an additional defense, or you're going to get something different that is going to benefit you in every single play, because you don't know what you're going to draw. So this is, if you are a deep solo gamer and enjoy a challenge, you're not going to win it every time. You may win it 20% of the time. It's going to be one that is going to keep you coming back, essentially.
I don't hit solos a lot, but the couple times I have, or the couple times I've watched solo gamings, I remember Espen's playthrough of this. This was one that I was like, I would absolutely want to try this one, even as heavy and as brutal as it sounds. It's a great theme, and it seemed like it was right up my alley.
Yeah, it was a late ad. It was a impulse buy, and the channel has done plenty of that to, I think, all of us. But it's one that obviously I very much enjoy.
Awesome. All right, so now moving from Halls of Hegra brutal gameplay, we're going to go to something similar on my list, and that's Patchwork. Again, 2-player game. I love 2 players. Polyominoes is fun, and the way in which you obtain your resources to buy the patches, and that the patches can cost both resources, as in money, buttons, and resources as in time, as in how long you have on the board to keep adding to your quilt. And it's the mechanism of whoever is furthest behind on the board takes their turn. It doesn't just go me, you, me, you, me, you. So I could take a patch that moves me 6 spaces up, and your opponent could buy one. Well, this one moved me 1, this one moved me 2, this one moved me 1. So they get 3 before, but you got a really good patch because this patch covers 6 spaces and gives you 2 buttons, and they've only covered maybe 7 spaces but got no buttons, and buttons is the currency. So I really like that strategy. I really like how it's, for every uncovered square, you're getting negative points. The race to the 7x7 square to get the extra points. All the different versions of the game. I mean, there's Americana, Valentine's Day, Halloween, Polish. There's whatever version you want is probably there for you. But again, another game where I can play this with my kids. I can play this with a gamer, and I'm going to have fun. So
I think this is going to be Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think I'm going to say the same thing with you. I know there's at least one crossover with this.
Yeah, I think this is a trend as well of games on your list that I have played with you, and probably the first time I've learned it has been on BGA with you.
BGA, yeah. Oh, yeah. The 2-player games, I'll just throw out to anyone if they haven't played them. Like, well, we'll learn.
All right, my number 15 on the list here. Go ahead and click that. There is going to be Yokohama. It's a game that I have the old version, the old TMG version of it. There's a new print that came out of it that the boards are super nice, double layered and everything. The game that I can compare this to the most probably is Istanbul, where it's you're moving, you have a president, and then you also have other people that are your people that move a lot of the places that can control the power of your actions. The president is going to be where your action is going to be. And there's a variety of different goals that you're working to achieve, whether it's technologies, faith, you're trying to do shipments, you're trying to get these different goals as you work through, and there's multiple different end game triggers in it. And the unique thing is every time you move through where another president is, or you want to place a cube where a president is, you have to pay that person $1. Or is it a yen? I think the currency is in the game. And yen is not the currency in the game is very tough to come by. So if you have to spend one, you absolutely have to do so, it may hurt you, and it's going to extremely benefit the other players that is gaining that money. I taught this at a convention in January, and the setup is unique because each player count has its own unique board that it's going to be set up as, because certain tiles are going to be in a 2, a 3, or a 4 player is going to have everything. But it's a great, and you can play it fairly quickly too. Not a difficult teach, but it is a little step up in the strategy of trying to figure out what you're going to do. And shocker, that's a theme in a lot of my games, is the strategy and everything with it that is going to keep on bringing you back to the game.
I've played this once or twice on BG. I think you and I did as well, which was kind of a teaching game, but it's definitely one that I think would benefit more from a table play and learning.
Yeah.
And then coming back to BGA just to kind of refine your strategy for it. Have you played the dual version?
I have not played the dual version, and there's another game on my list that got a dual version made for it recently as well. Okay. Just a little foreshadowing, but I would play it now that there's someone else that I'll play some 2-player games with more now. But it's one of those, I don't think it's bad at 2 players either.
Does it deserve, it's like Splendor, right? Splendor's a great game at 2 players itself. But even though the Splendor Duel is great as well, do you recommend the Yokohama 2-player version? Or
Yeah, I don't think
count?
it's bad. Yeah, I think they do a good job of condensing the board to make it more competitive, where it's just not free reigns of where you're going because the board is so big. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like to get this one. I mean, I have both this and the duels still in shrink, but definitely would want to check this out and play them again. They're fun.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So number 14. My number 14 is a game that, again, where I like it's not just a 2-player game. It's a 2 to 4. But I guess I should have said this instead of Splendor. I really like playing this 2-player, and that is Azul.
Okay.
Base Azul. It's the one that I've played a lot of. This is probably Chrissy's number 1 favorite game, which means we get to play it a lot. And when I do get to be there on the small amount of times I do, it makes it that much more sweeter. But also, if a game itself breeds 4, I think we're at 4 variations of itself as well, it's a good game, and whether you like some of the variations better than the original, I tend to always like the original and the first movie in a trilogy, original games. Those get my appreciation the most. So, I mean, if you don't know this one, you're picking different pattern tiles off of different, what they call factories, but you're only taking the one type from that factory. So if there was 1 there, 2 there, 3 there, you're taking those, putting them on your board, which you're then trying to move over once you complete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 amount of those tiles. You're moving them over to your board and then scoring points. If you get them in a horizontal column, you get points, or horizontal, vertical, and all 5 of the same, you get more points. And it's just really a good game. It can be take thatty. You can see what someone's going for before they get to them, so it can be nasty. And like I said, the 4 variations off of this one are fun as well. I think we just got done the game with Summer Pavilion, I think it was.
Yeah, I just saw a comment that was their favorites, and it's
okay.
That was my first time playing it, and Ian, I enjoyed it. It was great playing with you and Chrissy, and I introduced base game Azul to Sarah. Was it within the last month? And I had to warn her that it was a little take thatty.
Yeah.
There's going to be probably some arguments about why did you take that one when I wanted to take that later, but it's the game itself.
And those are just as good in person as they are on BGA,
Yes, exactly.
And now after you take your turn, you'll get a nasty text message or something.
All right. My next game here on the list, if you want to click it, is Beer and Bread. This is a 2-player game specifically. I am very much looking forward to the newest version of this, Wine and Cheese, that'll be coming out this year. And this is a 2-player game. I've played it a couple times with Sarah, and I teach it to a lot of people that if we're just playing 2-player, let's get this to the table. The cards, you're either trying to brew beer or make bread. And you're trying to be even with it because you're either going to take the lowest of the 2. If you have lesser points in beer, that's going to be your final score. If you have lesser points in bread, that's going to be your final score. But there's going to be other things that are going to control the point value that you get per, whether it's you get additional points per a certain type of beer or having one of each type of beer. There's a lot of different things. The thing that I really appreciate about this game is the multi-use cards.
Yeah.
There's so many different things. You can use it to harvest. You can use it for the ability. You can use it to brew. There's so many different parts of it that are going to keep you coming back to it, essentially.
Yeah, and Barra said it in the comments as well, right? The multi-purpose cards it's the meat of the game,
Yeah.
The agony of where you have a card, you want to use it in multiple places. Which one are you going to pick? And it's been a while since I played, but it's also kind of is there a draft in there as well? Like cards that you don't take and pass off?
So in the fruitful years, you're going to pass the cards back and forth between the person that you're playing with. But in the dry years, your hand stays with you.
Right.
So it's a good or a bad thing, depending on what you do. But yeah, and then also in the dry years, there's 3 cards off the side of the board that you can interchange with.
Yes.
And then you do that action with it. And also too, it's unique because in the dry years, after fruitful years, you're going to get your cards back that you kept or harvested. In the dry years, anything you use, it's gone. So you essentially have to use it or you're going to lose it. And it's that tough decision of how do I make the best use of this card?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a good one. I've only played on BGA, but it is in my keep an eye out and pick it up eventually because it's a fun one.
Yep.
All right. So number 13. So this is another. This was actually my. You know how at the end of the year for BGA you get your sum up and get your most played game. This was my 2025 most played game on BGA. I don't think anyone would ever be able to guess this. I'm not even sure how many people play this game unless I initiate it, but this is Dog Lover.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Love this game. It is it's a 3x3 grid. You have a horizontal or vertical 1, 2, 3 card that when you choose which vertical column or horizontal row you're taking, you take the 3 cards from there and then you play them. There are dog cards. There's the food that you need to feed the dog cards, which lets you score the points for them. There are traits you can give the dog cards, which gives you extra points. There's bones. There's toys, adoption cards, because there's a deck of other dogs that you can adopt that aren't in the 3x3 grid. And then there are training cards so that you can get these tricks, which let you take cards in different patterns. It's so fun. It's a quick game. It's good 2-player, 3-player, 4-player. And I don't know, it was my number 1 played game in 2025. So I'm like, I think I have to put this on the list.
And I think I played this with you once or twice on BGA, and I like it because it brings different mechanics in its set collection. There's a lot of different unique mechanics with it that for a short, maybe 20-minute game, no matter if it's in person or on BGA, that it's going to be a fun, quick game that you'll want to reset up.
Yeah, and Cat Lover, like Espen was saying, I know that's out there. I've never played it, never even looked at it. I am more of a dog person than a cat person. Now we have some house cats around, but yeah, I've never played that one and would be interested to know if he said, I don't believe there's any differences between them. So, I mean, hey, pick whichever yours is your favorite. And then it's a little different. Rachel says, hey, Rachel, how you doing?
Hey, Rachel. All right.
So
my number 13, if you want to go ahead and click that there, is Dune Imperium. Between this and Uprising, pick your poison essentially, and where it is on your list. And I have all expansions except Bloodlines, and it is the very first board game that I ever bought.
Oh, wow.
So I was brought into board gaming by playing Euphoria for the first time. If you know Euphoria from Stonemaier Games,
I know about it through Mr. Rao. I've never played it, but I know about it.
I don't recommend. I'll chalk up my vote for dog on that one. But I was introduced to Euphoria. Don't recommend it as an intro game for anybody. But this was my very first board game I personally ever bought, and it built off of my love for the Dune world. In the universe. I have the first 6 books that were written. I've read them all and whatnot. And it's a true worker placement deck builder, trying to shed certain cards from your deck. And there's a battle, and you're trying to do your best to have the most troops, have the most power for certain battles, because you have to pick and choose which ones you want.
Mhm.
If you don't want that reward, there's no victory point, or you're not getting control of a region to get rewards later on. Maybe you don't want that. And that's the great thing with it, is you can pick and choose where you want your battles while trying to build up other areas with different factions and whatnot within the board.
And the theming around this one is from the movie Dune, right? The art is representing
Yeah, this is surrounding the art is surrounding the movie. A lot of different versions of Dune itself. Gale Force 9, I know is talked about. We've talked about it in Discord or on streams here before, but there's a lot within this game, and I know you've played it in the past, and I know you were talking about it quite a bit before too. So
now you said you have all the expansions except Bloodlines.
Yep.
Can you play them all at the same time? Do you pick and choose when you want to play with one?
I think you should play with one. I've played with Immortality and Rise of Ix at the same time, and I've house ruled a little bit with what your starting deck is, because it's a little conflicting. Immortality says you take out certain cards, and Rise of Ix says you take out like the same cards. So you kind of have to pick and choose. So I house rule it. Everybody plays with the same stuff. It doesn't really change everything, but I think you can play with both. And I think it's more as what you're trying to do isn't going to change it up too much. Now, I have played Uprising. I played it at PAX 6-player with teams.
Right.
Absolutely wild. It is a blast, but I don't know if I would ever do that again.
Will you replace Base or Imperium with Uprising?
Because this was my first game I ever bought, I think this will collect dust. The box, I may buy a new box of it. It'll be one of those that'll always stick in my collection.
Nice. Yeah, nice. All right, so that was 13. So we are on to number 12. So this one is another one that is kind of new to my list from last year. Is another 2-player game, and I'm a big fan of lane battlers. I like Air, Land, and Sea. Compile recently I played. I started to enjoy, but this one is one that I feel is very easy for anyone to jump into. And I think this was recently featured in our Knizia Madness pool. So this is Schottentotten.
Okay.
So this is a lane battler where you have, I believe it's 9 columns, and you're battling against your opponent to win a column. And how you win columns is by there's a ranking of kind of like, like rummy hands, right? You can do or poker hands, I guess is the better term. Like you can do a set flush, like the same color, 3 numbers in a row. Then the next best thing is 3 of a kind. Then the next thing is 3 the same color. Then just 3 sequential, any color, and then just combination, things like that. And you're trying to either win 3 columns directly adjacent to each other, or I believe it's 5 columns overall. And the first one to do that wins. And the cool thing about this game is that, you could see someone that has like a 9-8 green, and they're waiting for that 7 green, but you're holding that 7 green. So every time they take a card, they're like, oh, that's not, like, oh, you didn't get that 7 green. Oh, I hope you get that soon. And then like you put it down somewhere, and now they know they can't get that specific combination to win that column. But it's a fun game. It's an easy game to teach. It's, I guess, a filler game, so you can play a bunch quick, or just while you're waiting for a game to get set up from someone else. So it's really fun. I know there's a Schottentotten 2. Never played it. Don't know what the differences are. And I also know this was based off of Battle Line, I think, which I actually just saw today in my local games used section. I was about to pick up, but then that voice in my head said, "Your shelf of shame is ridiculous. Don't buy any more games." And actually, I did buy it.
This isn't your infamous Barnes and Noble that we all aspire to have by us.
This was a straight up Amazon buy.
No,
So
I haven't played. I don't think I've played this one, but this is definitely one as a shorter 2-player that I would like to have in my collection.
All right. Well, you'll be getting the invite to this game after.
I will happily play.
Yeah, and Espen just says he thinks Shot and Totten came first with Battle Line coming after. I wasn't sure of the order, but I knew they were similar.
Okay. All right. I think I know my number 13, but you want to go ahead and click 12. That. Or 12, sorry. 12 is For Northwood. That's okay. And I actually played this as a quick filler. I know it's been on lists before in other channels or for other guests or the crew itself. And it's a solo trick taker. There are two. They're in here, so it's a unique one. You're playing against essentially the deck itself, but there's different fiefs that have unique abilities that you can use, and you're trying to achieve the perfect score of 20, which I don't think I still have ever achieved. It's just a shame, but it's challenging because you're either trying. Each round, you're trying to win a set number of tricks. And each one that you cover up is going to establish what trump is for that round. And you're trying to win anywhere from 0 to 7 tricks. 7 and 0 obviously being the most difficult. You're getting more points for it. And it's very challenging to try to work through, okay, I use this ability now, and it's going to shed cards, which is going to help me win lesser tricks. Hopefully. Or I'm going to use this ability that's going to draw my hand size up to a certain amount. And I have a greater ability to win more tricks, but maybe I'm going to win too many tricks now because I have so many cards in my hand. It's a really great game. I got it about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago when it was very difficult to find. And I just hopped on it right away when I saw it available. And I absolutely love this. And Danny, I think Danny mentioned it last year on her list. It's a great game. It's a short, you don't have to put the full attention to it when you're playing it. And it really, really fun.
Yeah. I've tried this one on BGA and enjoyed it. I remember you telling me about it as one of your favorite solo games and very much enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure you said 20 is the highest score you can get, right?
Yeah, 20 is the perfect score.
I'm pretty sure Squirrel, I remember him putting on the Discord, he got a 20 or something like that. So we know someone who's done it.
Yeah. So it'll be a goal of mine. I just played it Saturday as a filler in between or last Friday as a filler in between. It was great. So.
All right. Great. All right, so number 11 for me, surprise, surprise, it's another 2-player game. Surprise, surprise, it's one that I almost always have going multiple games of it on BGA. And it's a great duo designers, which you'll see again on here, and you'll see a very similar mechanism on here, but we'll start with this game first. Number 11 is War Chest. This is, I'm hoping, is a crossover with someone. Maybe not. Yeah, that's what, when you work from home,
maybe computer, someone.
You BGA a lot, right? So War Chest is Trevor Benjamin and David Thompson, and you are assembling 4 unique units in the fantasy style. So, you got like a swordsman, a knight, fast cavalry, archers, crossbowmen. When you get into expansions, you can get like war engines and spies and assassins and things. But you're getting these characters, you're getting chips for them, and you're putting them in a bag. And when you pull a chip, you can do multiple things with that chip. You can move the chip on the board. You can recruit other chips to put into your bag. You can attack with those. You can use one of their tactics, or you can I forget what the term is, but you can take control of spots on the board, which is ultimately how you win the game. You're trying to get I think it's control of 5 spots on the board, and it's just it's very, you get a good strategy when you know who your 4 units are and how you plan to use them. But then it's very tactical once you start playing the game, because your plan most of the time will go out the window. And of course, they're doing stuff to get their spots, ruining your plans, and it's just it's so fun, especially too if you get to know the pieces well enough and you start to draft your team. Then the first player picks theirs, next gets two, and then the leftover one. And when you add in all the expansions, it's just more units. So how you combo those units off of each other, it's wildly replayable, and just such a fun game. And like Barrow said, the dream team, right? We all enjoy some Thompson and Benjamin games. So
Thompson, and I know Barrows and Marcel are really big on this, and there's probably 3 or 4 different expansions for this, that if not more, that can be played with it, that really just mix it up. And it's been a while since I've played it, but it's a good 2-player, or I should say a great 2-player game.
Yeah, absolutely. So War Chest number 11.
All right, my number 11, I know this one here, is a crossover with Espen, and it's a probably, I think, in the top 200 list, the solo rank that comes out every single year. It's consistently number 1 in that list, or in the top 2 at least, and that is Spirit Island. Spirit Island is a great game. I have the base game and Branch and Claw, and I don't think I would play without Branch and Claw ever again. It's probably, there's plenty of games that are like, okay, it's okay with the base game, but it's that much better with the expansion. If you have the expansion, you're just going to play with it every time. It doesn't add too much with it. And Spirit Island is that game. Now, is it a very complex game, very thinky game? 100%. Because you're trying to fend off the villagers that are trying to invade the towns, and there's different spirits that have different focuses, whether it's defense and trying to remove or just block things, or it's attacking, or it's something else. There's variety, and each spirit has its different complexity, which I really appreciate, because someone new coming into it, you can just say, hey, pick from these low complexity spirits, run with those. Next time, we'll step it up. You can go the medium, or you feel really good about it after your first play. Sure, you can pick the high complexity ones. And it really makes it entry level. And there's also Horizons of Spirit Island too. That is a great, Espen talked about it on last stream in his top 20, that you can play. It was at Target. I don't know if it is anymore, but it's another version of it that not as highly produced or as well produced, but a great intro into the game itself to get you that experience before if you really want to invest in Spirit Island.
Right. And 2 things about this game. One that I want to ask, and one that I just want to say that I've heard about it, is if you're not a fan of cooperative games because people can quarterback, I've heard that it's hard to do that in this game because you're playing such asynchronous factions, and you have a deck of cards that your teammates don't know what cards you have.
Right. And part of it too is sometimes you can only work on your part of the island. Okay. Because some of it too is you see the discs out there, that is your presence on the board. If you don't have presence in certain areas, you may not be able to reach to help out somebody else. Okay. So that person then can't quarterback and say, hey, help out over here. No, I can't. I don't have that reach to be able to do so. And you can expand it quite a bit throughout the game with your presence, but sometimes you may not be able to. So this is another tough one that you may have to be okay with losing because it's not the easiest to overcome the villagers that are trying to invade.
Nice. All right, so I believe that is 20. That is our 20 to 11, right? So that was our.
Yeah.
We're now on the top 10. Real quick, just want to say thanks to Tabletop Express for reaching out to us to let us, put our own top 20 together. Again, Tyler and Dan were from Book Yeti, where we cover some board game reviews. They sometimes let us jump in on their podcast, the Crypto Creative Corner, where we interview some people. Most recently, a lot of off-the-page games coverage, because Comic Book Yeti, they got the comic books, they make the games out of it. So we appreciate the time, we appreciate the attention, we appreciate the community here. So thank you very much. So on to number 10. Now, I told you my last 11, Benjamin and Thompson, going to be showing up later. And this is another Benjamin and Thompson game right along the same line as War Chest. This is Undaunted Normandy. Okay. And I know that this is a crossover with Espen. I think maybe one more crossover as well eventually, but I think Espen had the Stalingrad variety as his pick. Okay. I've only ever played Undaunted Normandy. And it hooked me right from this one. And I'm going to tell you, I've played the first mission from Undaunted probably 6 or 7 times because I showed it to 6 or 7 people and didn't get bored with it. I've gone on to other missions since then, and I've acquired, Undaunted Normandy is it's based on World War II invasion of Normandy. They came out with a second North Africa version, which introduces tanks from the Africa campaign, Battle of Britain, which introduces planes, and then Stalingrad, which was, as we saw in Espen's video, legacy game of the Battle of Stalingrad, right? Mm-hmm. It's a phenomenal game. It's deck building where the different ranks of the cards that you're playing have different abilities: attacking, reconnaissance, moving, recruiting. Similar to what in War Chest the chips can do, all the different things it can do. The cards are doing this in Normandy, and instead of pulling it out of a bag, you're getting a hand, using it, and typical deck building, right? Yep. The theme grabbed me. I'm a big history guy, World War II guy. When I saw the additional sets with tanks and planes, I'm like, yeah, I haven't even played those games, but I know I'm going to love them. So they're just sitting on deck for me. And I'm waiting for the time or for the chance to buy Stalingrad. And after I buy it, for the time to get into it, because it's just going to be amazing. A guy from Philly who likes history. Exactly.
Now, would you play the space version of this? Is that 2200 Callisto or something like that?
Yes, which I do have, and I wouldn't have a problem playing with it. I've heard it's not as good. I mean, I'll obviously play it and give my own opinion to it as well, and I'll more than likely I'll probably love it. But I do want to get through. I think Britain's the next one I want to play before I get to that one. Okay. But yeah, I absolutely would play the Callisto version. I just need the time to do it.
It's the biggest problem for all of us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But Undaunted Normandy, love it. Top 10, good game.
All right. Number 10. I'm going to have Chris click it there. I was trying to think of it off the top of my head. Okay. It is Hegemony, the lead your class to victory. This is where my list gets a little, it's not a little more heavier than what it was before. Hegemony is a game where you are running a class, whether it's the middle class, the working class, the capitalist, or the state. And you're working through trying to achieve your goals as best as possible. The state's trying to work with everybody to try to make things as best as possible. the capitalists are working with the middle class is working with both the working and the capitalists, try to make everybody happy essentially. And it's an event of a game. It takes about 4 to 5 hours to play, 5 if it's a lot of first-time players in the play. But there's so much in this game, and I only play with the expansions too, where it brings in different events into it that makes it a little nastier and a little more difficult to do well. There is so much in this game. I've played every class almost twice now. I've only played the capitalist once in my plays of this, but I cannot wait for the sequel. I don't know if it's an exact sequel to it, but it's the newer version of this that Hegemonic Project Games is coming out with, I believe. It's called World Order, where you're playing as countries this time. And you're playing as the States, Russia, China, Europe, or you're playing as 4 different countries, and it brings in this dynamic of hegemony into it, but with a twist. And I can't wait for it because this game has solidified its spot on my list no matter what. I may play it once a year, and that's all I need to know that I truly love this game.
Now, can you play this game without the full player count, or do you have to have the full player count?
You can play it without the full player counts. At like 3 players, you take the state out. At 2 players, you take something else. It does have a solo mode. Am I ever going to play this at anything other than 4 players? Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those you can, but I think it does take away part of the fun of the game if you don't have the full 4. And if you get the group that's committed to it, what I like to do at conventions when I teach it is I'll send out an email and say, hey, who do you want to play? Pick your class. It's picked. All right, do some homework. I hate doing it at a convention because you want to come in and have fun. But if you're coming in playing this hegemony, I'm going to assign you some homework to learn your class, to make sure you understand what you need to do, the actions you need to take, and to solidify that.
And I feel like if you're playing this game, signing up to play it, you know what you're in for.
Yeah.
And you know that you're going to have to do some research, and you're not just going to sit down and sit for an hour and then jump up somewhere.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. It's one, I think this moved down 1 or 2 spots, but that's just because of some other games on my list that I've absolutely loved.
Yeah, this is one that's, like you said, it's an event game, and it is one where you don't play it a lot, and even after one play, I think it would warrant making a list just because of how long it is.
100%.
But yeah, this is one that's high up on my list of when I get a chance to play it in person.
Yes.
I want to play it. All right, so number 9 for me. This was a game I've heard about for many years, always making top lists. Another push your luck game, and one that you mentioned coin capsules earlier, and I'll also mention that I think I know Barrows loves, and I think he eventually got a win of this game in after 25, 30 plus, and that is the Quacks of Quedlinburg. This is so fun when you're pushing when you're pushing luck, when you're putting the hand in, taking it out, hoping you don't get I think it's the white ones that make you bust. Yeah. And you're like, you're doing the math. You're like, I got so many more in there. Okay, only 3 of them are white. Okay, we're gonna keep going. And it took me 20-ish games. Yeah, see that. But I mean, push your luck is a good mechanism. That it's one of my favorites. Obviously, Spot's up on here because of it. And then also them building in the different chits and what their abilities are and what they let you do, and the strategy of going, you're going to go heavy red or heavy green, or you want to, maybe you want to try a little bit of all. So you're going to keep 1 or 2 of everything. You're most likely not going to do well because someone's going to spam those ones where the more of them you get, the more points you get. But this is, and I'm glad that Espen chose this cover of the game, because that's the one I own. That's the one I prefer.
Yeah.
I don't know about the newer version. I know you could retail buy it blinged out, which I know a lot of people love blinging this game out. But yeah, this version is the one I have. It's now just kind of known, I think, as Quacks, and has kind of like a Rankin and Bass claymation art to it. So look out for that. Look out for this version. Just grab one and play it. It's such a fun game.
Yeah, and I have the new Quacks version of it, the all-in, because I didn't own it before. And so I went the all-in with it, which was super nice because it gives you those deluxe version, or like the deluxe bits, like the Board Game Geek bits that you can get with it.
Yeah. Yep.
And so good. I ended up buying the storage containers for it through Board Game Geek, and it the easiest setup with that. I wouldn't play it without it moving forward. And I was hesitant on the new claymation when I got it, but it's grown on me. It's not my favorite. I do enjoy the older look of it, but it still does its job.
Yeah. And I guess whatever version brings you in, that's probably the version you'll be partial to. And this is the one that brought me in. And why change?
I get it. All right. My number 9 here can be clicked ahead there. And it is a trick taker. The last trick taker on my list. There's a theme here. Rebel Princess. I'll be honest. I barely played Hearts growing up. If you've played Hearts, you know Hearts. You know Rebel Princess, and the game is just that much better than Hearts because it brings in these twists every single round. You see the very left image there with the 5 cards. Each round there's going to be new events, and it's going to be, oh, you can't. This round's the person that leads the trick puts their card face up, but everybody else puts their card face down for the trick. You still have to follow suit, but you don't know if you're going to win or not. And you may not want to, because once the princes enter the ballroom, then that's when you start taking negative points. Or if it's the green suit, if someone I play a higher green, are they going to put the frog in there that's going to really stick it to you? It's a great trick taker. It's number 1 in my list for a reason. And there's unique abilities with the princesses. And there's so many of them, you may not get the same. I usually deal 2 out to a person, pick one, and then go from there. There's so much. I already backed Zombie Princess a long time ago. That should be coming soon. I didn't get to demo it at PAX. I wish I did, but I didn't need to be sold at PAX that I should back it, or I should get it, because this is one that absolutely love.
Yeah, this was a hit of PAX 2 years ago, so the year before the one that you came out to.
Yeah,
and I remember we saw it. I think we played it both Friday and Saturday night. And I remember one round, I think I got every single prince, and some not safe for work comments were made towards me about having that done. And yeah, this is one that's, honestly, I probably forgot about this game, and this might be 21, 22 for me. It's so much fun. Like you said, the event cards let you, it's different each time, right? You're what cards you pass to your left or right, how you do it, and then the ability for the round, like you said, sometimes lowest card's going to win the trick or anything like that. It's just so fun. And I did get to do Zombie Princess, and that's more spades, right?
Yeah, that's more cooperative from what I'm aware of it. Yeah, and it's, with Rebel Princess, shooting the moon is the greatest feeling in the world. But when you miss it just by one prince, the worst. Or the frog.
Awesome. All right. Number 8 for me. This is a it's pretty much a card game. You're getting resources, using the resources to play cards, trying to get cards that give you points, and it's a race to 10 points, and it is Res Arcana. This game is simple to teach and simple to get people in, but the cards that you'll get as your deck, the sorcerer that you get to pick as your deck, and what's out there as the places of power, and how you start to put your strategy together to get to that 10 point as quick as possible is so much fun for me. And it's just, I see something different almost every time I play this game. Obviously, because the cards are going to be different. There's a version where you can draft what cards you're putting into your deck with everyone, or you can just take the pre-constructed like starter deck or whatever, or just deal them out blind, right? But it's so much fun getting your engine going and then just blowing up other people's like problems, like hitting them with like attacks where they don't have the resources to block it and they lose stuff, or grabbing the places of power that you know they were going for because they have 2 dragons down and they want the dragon's lair, but you're going to get the dragon's lair first, so they can't, ultimately benefit so much from it. There are expansions, which I have only played with once. I don't own any of them. Base game is enough for me for this game to just constantly play it over and over and over again. And Tom Lehman, great pick. Great game for this. There is a duo version. I haven't played that yet, so I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on that. But Res Arcana, such a good game, such good strategy and tactics involved in this one.
I'm going to go ahead and say, once we're done talking about our top games, send me over a invite on BGA. We will. I have not played this yet. I've heard so many good things about it and from other people, other channels, that like it's like, oh yeah, but I've heard it's good at too. And I'm like, okay, don't know exactly. I don't own it. It's not warranted for me to buy it just blind quite yet. So
we'll get a couple games and we'll buy it. I got this and more chests coming your way.
All right. My number 8 here. I'll have you click it. I'm 99% sure. Yes. White Castle. I have a problem with Devere games.
Yeah.
And it's a good problem. I bought 2 at PAX, and this is my highest ranked of them all. White Castle, I've played it probably the most solo with my personal collection, which you're not going to win. It's a personal challenge. You have to get the perfect board state with the draw, with everything to win. But at 2, 3, and 4, it's a great game. Your dice placement, you're drafting dice, you're getting resources, you're carrying out actions of that dice color at specific locations, and you're trying to balance your gardeners, your warriors, the castle. You're trying, and then they bring in the matcha expansion, which you're working to try to balance down there and figure out, okay, I can get more bonus actions down here, and on top of that, don't worry, in the base game, you only get 12 turns. So, brutal. And then, you get another 3 turns, or is it? No, it's 9 turns. Right in the, I'm blanking on this right now. You only get a set amount of actions. You get 3 more turns with the matcha expansion. And it's one of those, it's the biggest wombo combo, brain burner. Nasty. If in a 2-player game you can't stack the dice to do the action multiple times, and it's just really, really a great game that if you know it, you can probably play it in an hour. And this is another one of those games that, like Yokohama, had a dual version released for it recently by Devere Games. I haven't played it, and again, at this point with the game, it's like Yokohama, where it may be a little frustrating at 2-player, but I don't think it's bad at 2-player. I think it does its job for different player counts specifically.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've played this one only base version, and every time I play, I'm like, if only I could have 2 more turns. You feel like you could do so much more.
Yeah, it is one of those that I'll break out. Setup is pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
The play is quick, and the bot is frustrating in solo, but it keeps bringing me back because somehow I've beat it once with a score of like 72. I don't think I've replicated or gotten close to that at this point, but I'll hold that victory against the bot as long as I can.
Nice. Yeah, Devere games are good, and I think White Castle is my favorite of the Devere games. Although I don't think I've played as many as you, but we'll see what other ones we get. All right, so my number 7 is the theme is one that we've already seen on my list. And actually, I've had another game with this theme drop off recently, but this one is still on my list and actually bumped up because of the expansion. And we specifically wanted to show the expansion on here and highlight because, as Bears has said, this is the way to play the game with this expansion. I don't think I'll ever not play it without this unless I'm teaching it, which I feel like games like when you say I'll never play without the expansion, unless I'm teaching it, I'll play it without it just because I want them to experience it without it. But this is Star Wars Outer Rim, and specifically with Unfinished Business, Star Wars Outer Rim. So Star Wars, if you can't tell, huge fan. In this, you are taking the role of one of the scoundrels, bounty hunters, pilots in the Star Wars franchise. You are piloting a ship, and you are traversing the Outer Rim, fulfilling contracts, capturing people, running missions, all to get victory points to win the game. It's phenomenal. It's not a Star Wars movie in a box. I'll say it's a Star Wars book in a box. If you've ever read any of the additional things, all the side characters who you know their names and their backstories, but maybe they've been on the screen for 10 seconds. But you're like, oh, that's so-and-so, he did this. Or like, how do you know that? You're just like, don't ask. And of course, you can be IG-88 and you can purchase the Millennium Falcon and fly around like that. You don't have to be Han in the Falcon. You could be anyone. And the good thing about this game, and especially with the expansion, is the expansion corrected the one thing in this game that was terrible. So the board is basically a half circle, and you're going back and forth sometimes. And sometimes you're on one side and you have to go all the way to the other. Previously, you had to go that entire way. Well, the expansion now lets you traverse from the one side to the other, and it's just another nav point. So when you go on that, all through the game, there are nav points or planets, and you're drawing cards and doing an action every time. So now if you want to go from this side to this side, you just take that nav point, do the action, and you're over there. You don't have to spend the entire game. Or actually, you don't have to weigh if it's worth going over there the entire time or get rid of that and getting a new mission, a new bounty. You can upgrade your ships with weapons. You can upgrade yourself with equipment. And it's just, it's Star Wars. So it doesn't automatically make the list because of Star Wars. It has to be a good game behind it as well. And this is definitely one of those.
Yeah, I played this once a long time ago, and I don't think it was early on in my board gaming, and I don't think I understood it. So I do want to play this again, but I got to get the right person to bring it, essentially. So
yeah. And hey, maybe this will be a PAX 26 game.
Hey,
since
I'm in for it. All right. My number 7, go ahead and click it there. With my number 7 is Rolling Realms, Rolling Redux, whatever version you want to call it. It's a channel on the Tabletop Express Discord. I've been meaning to for like the last year and a half create like a weekly challenge for this game. I own every bit. Shout out to Rachel, who mailed me Expeditions from Australia. It was sold out at the time, out of print, and this is one that I have played so many different games with the Rolling Realms, some that I don't even know what their physical game is. I actually just bought Crusaders Thy Will Be Done, which is a realm in here, and I played it for the first time a month ago. Got my butt whooped, but I enjoyed it, and there's so many different games. You're learning about different stuff, and then once you play those games that are the realms, it really clicks. Like, they did such a good job matching the theme of this realm in comparison to what the game itself does. And it's just one of those, like, you want to go back and play it more and more. And there's some sort of astronomical amount of combinations that you can have in a single game, because you play 3 rounds. You're only playing 9 realms in a game. And I think there's something like 65 or 70 different realms, and I'm sure it's still growing at this point because of new games, that there are so many different combinations of this that you can play. You can play it solo, you can play it more players if you want to. If you have multiple boxes, you can play up to 10, and or play up to more, however many you want to. It's one of those. It's just endless possibilities. When you talk about replayability, this is the epitome of it.
So how many realms come in the base game?
The base Rolling Realms base comes with like 9 or 12, I think. Okay. And then Redux comes with another 12 that are brand new. And the cool thing with this is Rolling Realms, the base one is super nice. They're all Stonemaier games like Viticulture, Tapestry, Pendulum, you name it, that's probably in there. Mm-hmm. And then they bring in 11. Okay, thanks. 11 with the base, 12 in Redux. 12, they bring in new ones like Rock, Paper, Scissors, Texas Hold'em. You have all those different ones in there that really get you just, it's have fun. And it really different dynamics with each of them. So you really can't go wrong.
And when you buy an expansion, are you buying just like one?
Yeah, it's
like a pack of cards, right? Like
yeah, yeah. So you're getting the thrill of ripping a pack. You know what's in it. You don't know if Michael Jordan's going to be in there or whatever. But it's one of those. You're getting a promo you're getting that realm in each of the colors that are available. And I think with a Champions discounts that I have through Stonemaier, it's maybe like $3 per one. It adds up over time. It's the industry itself, but it's a really good. They're worth it, and it adds that variance to every play essentially.
Nice, yeah. This is one I haven't played yet. Heard a lot about. Like you said, it has its own channel on the Discord, so one I want to get to eventually.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. All right. So number 6 for me. This is the type of game that I enjoy. It is a lot of mechanisms done well, all brought into one game. And 2 of the mechanisms are 2 of my favorites, which are deck building and worker placement. So this is Lost Ruins of Arnak. It is, not only is it kind of Indiana Jonesy themed, like I said, you're doing your worker placement to get your resources, to buy cards, which give you more resources or let you do additional things on the board. You're fighting monsters when you uncover them at different sites, and then you're going up a research track where if you ever play this game and you're new, don't neglect the research track because you're not going to get very far in this game. I mean, they have the base game comes with 2 boards. There's, I think, 3 expansions at this point. And it's just, I love the resource, worker placement, deck building, all mashed into one. These are my types of games. It's impressive on the table. it's a good implementation on BGA, and it every time I'm playing it in public somewhere or walking by or see someone doing it, there's people standing around just watching it being played because it's such a good table presence.
Yeah, and I think for years, I don't know if the debate's still there, but it's always, oh, do you either like Arnak, you like Dune Imperium, or do you like Endless Winter? It's like you can like them all, and I think
I
that's
have all three.
I had Arnak. I think it got to the point where I traded it because of Dune Imperium. I think that was, though they are very different games. Arnak is one of those. It's very challenging, and it's like money. The resources are so tough to get, and I enjoy this one a lot.
Yeah, this is it's it's one that I might not introduce it to someone as an introduction game, but I think it's one that is once you learn the concepts of each deck building, worker placement, and kind of a little bit resource management, you're ready to play the game. It's just knowing the concepts before you come into it, I feel. But yeah, I love this one. So number 6.
Awesome. All right. My number 6, go ahead there, is Pax Pamir. This is a game that can end in 20 minutes, or it can go for 2.5 hours. It is a Cole Worley game. He is the master of these types of like old school Molly House. He's got John Company 2nd edition that is just bringing in the history of things and putting it so perfectly into a board game. I have this. This is one of my games that I had completely 3D printed a insert from a friend of mine, and it's great. Like there's set amount of cards in the deck, and once you get through a certain amount of like end game triggers or scoring triggers, you're going to score each time. Whenever somebody has 4 more points than anybody else, they're 4 ahead of everybody, essentially. That's when the game ends. And there's going to be coalitions. You can switch from the Russians to the Brits. You can do that mid-turn, mid-game to try to get points and take points away from other people. But you may not have the strength to compete and surpass them before the next scoring happens.
Okay.
It's a really unique. There's different symbols that you're going to get free actions. It's going to control hand size, court size. It's a bit of a rules teach, but once you get it down, you're either buying a card or playing a card or doing an action on a card. There's 3 simple things really you can do on a turn. And it's one of those that you may not see certain cards, because if you're playing 3 players, there's going to be a certain amount of cards that are taken out of the deck to make it appropriate. So I don't think it's great. I've played it once solo, and it's okay. The Wuhan's a little easy to defeat and beat, but at 2 players, 3 players, 4 players, I think it plays just fine. There's not a really bad player count with this. It's just a different dynamic of how you're going about it and trying to win the game, essentially.
So you said that one of the magic words for me, which was history.
Yes.
I don't know what the theme of this game is. So what is the history that this is based around?
It is based around, oh goodness, I believe it's the Brits trying to take over the Afghans in that territory, because it's Transcaspia. There's like 5 different like Middle Eastern regions in there. So it's early. I mean, you could tell from the art, it's probably like 1800s, probably 1800s in that. And it's just a unique interpretation and implementation of this to bring it in. And the pieces are fun to play with. Like those are roads that are down, laid down flat on the board, and the board is actually just a cloth mat, mind you. It's maybe smaller than a dinner placemat that you would see at the store. Okay. It's smaller than that, and there's roads which are laid flat, and then there's troops or soldiers that are vertical in the regions. So it's a really good game. It's a little expensive now to get, and I have it all blinged out with the coins. So it's one that I like to play more, but again, I realize it's a different entry into it.
Awesome. All right. I see Rachel's checking out for the I guess day on her side. So
yeah, something like that. See you, Rachel.
Thanks for coming in. So now we are into the top 5, and my number 5, another game that is you always kind of see at the top of lists. Worker placement, one of my top favorite mechanisms, and I think if not the game I do for worker placement, maybe the second game for worker placement behind Raiders of the North Sea, but this is Viticulture Essential Edition. This was one of the early games that was like, other than the gateway games of like Catan, Carcassonne, Ticket to Ride, this was one of the more, what I considered at the time, complex advanced games, which maybe it's not so much now, but it definitely is for a new gamer and someone not too well versed in modern board games. But I love this game. I love that you have your own player board where you're building buildings, which all help for making the grapes, aging the grapes, making the wine. You need the different cellars to go further beyond aging them 1 to 3 or a drink level of 1 to 3.
Yeah.
You can actually play your player board if you get the I forget what it's called, but the one that lets you harvest or plow a field, the yoke.
Yeah.
I think it is. And then you have the I'm going there, so I'm blocking people from going there. But then you have your grande worker where, you blocked me, but I still got my grande, so I can still go there. Or me going first, I get the benefits of going there. And then also the wake up track of you pick where you want to go, and then you'll get some benefits onto that. It's a game that I always associate with me getting into the hobby. So obviously it's going to be one that's high up on the list for me. I do have the Essential Edition. I do have Tuscany. I've maybe played with the Tuscany board once or twice. I know some people that say I'll only play on that board.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go back to the original and play it fine. I'll teach people on the original. I like the Tuscany. It just is a great game. The theme, you're making wine. Okay, big deal. But no, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's got the nostalgia for me. So, and had to be in my top 5.
Yeah, I own this, and I got the Bordeaux board. I haven't played with it yet, but I've played with the Tuscany, whether it's on BGA or if it's in person, and I enjoy it. I think I do like the unique sense of it in the fact that there's different seasons that you can play with the Tuscany board, so it gives you a little more flexibility. It does force you to think a little bit more in where you're doing your actions, because is it just spring and fall or spring and winter for the base board?
Those are the
or
guests.
Summer and fall.
Summer and
winter, whatever.
Because the guests are spring and winter, right?
Yeah. So it's a little different with that, but I either way you play it, it's a really good game, and the cards are nice. There's a little blocking with the worker placement. I enjoy it. Yeah.
So number 5, Viticulture.
All right. My number 5, I was going to get a train whistle for this one, but I do not have that. It's out at the TT headquarters, and I didn't get out to buying one. This is a crossover with Espen as well, as Spirit Island was, and this is Age of Steam.
Oh, right.
It is a very frustrating, mostly non-friendly game, where you're blocking people and you're trying to build your tracks to be able to deliver goods. And as you deliver goods, that is your income and your victory points as it comes to the end. There are endless amount of maps. Ryan mentioned last week or the week before that there's a convention that isn't too far from me in Missouri that I could probably drive to if I got the ambition and had the time to do so. But there's endless amount of maps. There's solo maps. There's 2-player. There's up to 6-player. You name it. If you have a certain set, you can play with any sort of player count, and there's different difficulties with them too. I wouldn't play Detroit Bankruptcy with a newer player because, as you can assume, you're going to go bankrupt on that map. It's just a matter of when. It's when you do go bankrupt, you want to be the last to do so. But there's Rust Belt, which is a simple entry one, and there's a lot to it. You're auctioning, you're taking shares. You can go bankrupt in a normal game if you don't do it appropriately, but it's tough. It's a good one.
And you said this is a crossover with Espen. I know he really likes this one, and I really feel I need to learn this by him teaching it at PAX next year.
If Espen brings it, I will play it.
Yeah,
we
missed him this year. We need the Espen taught game.
There's a tornado map. There's Disco Inferno.
What did you say? Tornado?
Yeah, there's a tornado. There's a moon map. There's a Disco Inferno. I think the Disco Inferno one, if you can't sing a disco song or you get a penalty.
Okay.
Like it's just super goofy stuff with it with some of the maps, but others it's just very straightforward. There's like a Sweden map where you're recycling. Once you deliver a certain good, it upgrades to a different kind, and then it's to the top and whatnot. There is so much to the game itself, and yeah, it did move down on my list this year, but it'll be in the top 10 forever.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely want to play that one, so we need to find a way to make that happen. All right, so my number 4, I'm considering it a crossover. And while the game itself was not on your list, you mentioned it and compared it. So I think it's a semi-crossover, we'll call it.
Yeah, semi, yeah, okay.
So this was something I played 2 or 3 years ago at PAX. I had always heard about it. As soon as I played it, I'm like, I will get this. I got the big box version on sale. It was like a deal of the day thing. And this is Istanbul. So you mentioned this while we were playing Yokohama. I think a couple people on here said they prefer Yokohama to this. So maybe I need to get back to Yokohama and they'll replace it. But I've played this my last 2 monthly board gaming crew. I took this to them and the first time I played with all new players, and they were like, it's a lot up front, right? Because it's not only the rules that have to play, but it's each tile has its own thing that it does. So the rule teaches a lot up front, but as soon as you get playing in a round or two, you know what you're doing. Yeah. And the second time we played it last month, a couple of the same people played again, so they were already like, oh, yeah, I'll play again. We'll get this going, and only a smaller amount of new players, so it went quicker. People were getting rubies pretty quick. But yeah, I played it once, and I'm like, this is really good. And it was one I had played it later in my gaming career, so like I knew other games and I'd heard about this but never played it. And I'm like, okay, this is a classic for a reason after I played it. So basically you have a stack of workers and you can move them 1 or 2 tiles orthogonally. And as you activate the tile you land on, you leave one of your assistants discs on that tile. and you perform the action. Then you can move more, and as you move and perform more actions, you're leaving your assistants out across the table. Now, there is one tile that you can go to. I think it's the fountain, where you bring everyone back to you. There are cards that let you bring assistants back to you. You can, if you go back to a tile that you recently went to and your assistant's there, you can pick them up and activate that tile. And you're basically trying to get, resources, sell them for money, buy rubies. Basically, first one to get I think it's 6 rubies, maybe 5, starts the end game, and then you finish the round of the players, and whoever has the most at the end of that wins. And it's just really fun navigating the different tiles, doing the things, and seeing how your game is going, how you're trying to get the rubies, because it's different from everyone else at the table who have gone to different places, gotten more money than you or more resources, and are scrambling to get to places. And this also has the thing where if someone's already on there, you have to pay them. So that that's a similar Yokohama mechanism that you said to me. I find myself in this game a lot of times just wanting to do everything, and like sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be getting rubies. I'm not playing to win the game. I'm playing to just play the game. And when you play people who play to win the game, you get destroyed.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to go over here and get some goods to sell them for like a lot of money. But then I want to go over here and kind of predict my dice roll and get money based on that.
Yeah.
Or I want to try and like capture other people's family member to send them back and get their money and stick it to them a little bit, But then they're like, go ahead, do that. I got 4 rubies already.
Yeah, so, I enjoy it. I've played it once. I don't think I have a strong feeling towards Istanbul or Yokohama, but I enjoyed my play with it for sure.
Did you play this before or after you played Yokohama?
I believe I played it before. So okay. I do think I do prefer Yokohama, but I've also played it more, so I may be a little biased on that front. So
right, yeah, and I think I need to get some more plays of Yokohama and then see which of the two I prefer, because it seems like those two are. Well, if you like this, you're going like this, and then which one do you like better?
Yep. All right, my number 4 moved up a spot this year from number 5. I only have one expansion of it, and it is quite possibly heavier than Age of Steam, and the heaviest game on my list. It's a David Thompson game, and it is Nucleum. I have played this game probably about 15 times solo. It is the craziest setup solo, and the picture on the right is actually a solo play of it. There's a base map, which is just normal, and then there's also an Australia map. It's not the most accurate. Rachel's not here to attest to it anymore, but I don't believe it's the most accurate to what Australia is. But it's David Hertzy, sorry, yeah. I think it's better with it because it's a mix of Brass and Barrage is what I've heard. I've never actually played Barrage. I do own Brass Birmingham, so I get that aspect of it a little bit. But it's a great game. It's very strategy-esque. You're working through. There's a variety of different end goals, whether it's the tiles that are removed. If you've done king scoring 3 times, or you've achieved a certain amount of goals, you've hit 70 on the scoring, any like 2 or 3 of those that you achieve then triggers endgame.
Okay.
And it's a very grindy, think it out. Okay, I do this and then I do this. You're trying to build power plants, trying to build turbines, but then you're also trying to build different types of buildings to earn points. I could go on for the next 20 minutes and try to explain this game, and it's still going to sound foreign to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But there's so much to it that really makes it great. You can win one way, one game you can win another the next game and have different routes to victory essentially. And I need to play it more, but also it's like PAX Premier where the entry point to it is very high.
Right.
And it's tough to get those people consistently to the table to just want to play that game and commit 3+ hours to the game.
Oh, I was going to ask, is it 3 hour plus? Is it 2 hour?
Yeah.
And this was a high game in the year it came out. I don't know if it was 2024, 2023. Let me.
I think it was 24.
Oh, okay.
Or 23. So okay.
But yeah, I remember this was at the top of a lot of people's lists, and I remember you playing it and like, yep, it lives up to the hype.
Yeah, it's one of those. I think I played it 10 times solo for my 10x10 I did 2 years ago. I don't know how I ever finished it and did it, but I did so. It's a game where it takes about 30 to 40 minutes to set up probably. And then you're playing it for an hour and a half. So nice. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, definitely one I'm interested in. Yeah, Espen's saying he's dying to try it too.
I'd bring it, but it's a bit of a table hog for the home 2 suites.
Yeah, and probably go past 2 o'clock, and they don't like that, right?
Not anymore. Not anymore.
All right, my number 3 is another classic game, one that I was introduced through BGA. I own a copy of it, which I've never opened and played. I honestly wouldn't even know if I would need how much I played on BGA. I would still need the instructions to know how to set it up and go through each round because BGA just does it for you, right? So I don't know if I ever want to play it live, honestly. This is the Castles of Burgundy. This game is so you're rolling dice and you use the dice to do purchase tiles or sell goods or buy workers, which lets you manipulate your dice rolls, but you're basically purchasing tiles to put on your board to score points. There are multiple kinds of tiles which do different things within the game. There are animal tiles which get you points. There are building tiles which each building does its own separate thing. Like one gives you money, one lets you sell goods to get money, one lets you just gives you points, one gives you workers, one lets you play other tiles so you can kind of combo it out. Then there's ship tiles which change your ranking in order of play, lets you get a good. It's such a good game and a classic game. And by my top 5, I mean, you can see I'm a sucker for the classics, right?
Yeah.
Stefan Feld, I've only ever played this from him, but every time I see his name in other games, I make a mental note like, okay, you like Burgundy, you're going to like his play style. I think I just saw Trajan the other day, which I don't know much about, but I saw that was his name on. I'm like, okay, that I got to start researching that game now. But and the version that Espen picked here is the version I have. You know, there's a newer version. There's the Awakened Realms deluxeified version with. I assume it has I think it has add-ons in there, little modules or expansions, other maps. I just played the good old that version back on BGA and go to town. It is another one where you can play it asynchronous. 2 days later, you come back to it and you kind of remember where you were at, right? There's not much long-term strategy that you're on it. You can look at what you're doing and very much get back to it real quick. But probably my second most played game on BGA and just one that I very much enjoy and appreciate being able to play it where I don't have to put it on the table and go through the rounds because I can get that many more games done quick. Yeah, got the old beige one. Yep. I'm fine with the old beige with this game. The gameplay outweighs the beige.
Yeah, this was a game that I played it once and I was like, I don't really like it. I don't like the dice roll. And then like 2 years later, I played it again. I'm like, why did I not like this? and I'm all for it now. I enjoy it. I turned down a copy like 2 years ago of it that I could have gotten for free. And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself now, like, why would I ever do that? That was a regret within my time here in the board game industry.
Well, just play it on BGA. Then that regret will go away. No setup and no tear down.
All right. My number 3, we talked about blinged out editions of games and new editions coming out to it. This is number 1 for a lot of people. And it draws comparison to games like Terraforming Mars. And my number 3 is Ark Nova. I have played this game probably on BGA over 400 times. I love this game. I know the ins and outs of each map. I apologize to the people I play with when I do play the game, because I can push the game as quick as I want to, pretty much as I please, because I feel that comfortable with playing the game. It's one of those. There's a 3 edition that's coming out for it, and I'm that sucker that went all out on that thing. I have the Sundrop features coming for it, and it's great. There's so much to it. The Marine Worlds does. I know there's a lot of gripe with the base game where the cards don't cycle through enough, and Marine World does fix that.
Stack of cards, right?
It is. And for some reason, I decided to sleeve all of my cards too. That's a gamer problem. But Marine World solves a lot of that, because there's the new wave function. When a new Marine Worlds card is drawn, you shuffle, you discard a card, and you keep moving it down. There's so many different maps, so many different ways to win. I will say BGA does it where there isn't any negative scoring. I personally don't think it's needed. If you score negative, it's no different. You can just add 100 or subtract 100 from your score, and it's fine. You scored negative. It's just the game itself. I don't see the big deal with it, but I know that it was a gripe for people too, that like, oh, I keep on scoring in the negative. Why do I keep on doing that? Well, you gotta get more. Exactly. So it's Ark Nova. I can't wait to get 3 edition. I know Rocky said that as well. It's one of those that, especially when I get it, it will hit the table more, because it is going to be blinged out to the max. And it's more of a reason just to simply get it out, because it's going to look even more beautiful on the table on top of the great gameplay.
I have not played this. I want the first time I play it to be in person, so I have specifically not played it on. I think you've tried to get me to play it on BGA, and I'm like, I appreciate
think
it.
Maybe so.
Play in person. And if you remember, maybe 4 years ago, Barnes & Noble did a 50% off sale the week after Christmas. I remember holding it, and I'm like, I should probably just do it. Just you're buying all these other, just buy this one. And I put it back, and I regret that ever since, because I haven't seen it that cheap ever since, especially with the deals I find, right? But I feel like this is one where if I play it, it'll be a top 20 one that I just want to play all the time and get like maybe not 400 games on BGA played, but maybe up to 100.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a top one for a reason. It was my number 1 for a while, up until last year.
I think I know what your 1 and 2 might be. So
yeah, I think so.
but I couldn't remember what your 3 would be, and after I saw Nucleum, I'm like, okay, then I definitely don't have a guess, and I don't know why that flew out of my brain. But. All right, so now number 2 for me. This is a game that I have said that even if I don't play it, no matter what they put out, I'm buying. I love this game. I love the randomness of the factions. I love it's best at 2-player. I love that.
Sure.
I love the maps. I love the different card play. I love that you can have Tyrannosaurus Rex fight Sherlock Holmes, and this is the unmatched game.
Yep.
This is so much fun. Like I bought I think I bought a couple sets at the same time. So, I bought the first Battle of Legends set. So it had King Arthur, Alice, Sinbad, Medusa, and then I bought the Cobble and Fog set. So I have Invisible Man, Jekyll and Hyde, Dracula, and Sherlock. And I'm like, I can have Dracula fight Alice in Wonderland, like this. And then they're like, oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And then there's Jurassic Park sets, and then there's Marvel sets, and then there's a Buffy set. And I'm like, this is insane. And it's not just that it's weird and varied. The gameplay is simple and I think very strategic. The 2-player box sets you get like like Beowulf against Little Red Riding Hood, Robin Hood against the Bigfoot. It's so awesome. Friends and I have done yearly tournaments at this, where we'll do like a round robin tournament. Everyone drafts their heroes and play. And then on top of releasing all of that cooperatively, they come and then release Unmatched Adventures, Tales to a Maze, which is a cooperative version of the game. Mm-hmm. Then they follow up with that Ninja Turtles cooperative. And I'm just like, I'm the Futurama meme. Take my money. Whatever they put out, I'll buy. I was talking to Barrows before we jumped on here, and he's like, I got the new Stars and Stripes. I'm like, haven't got it yet, but it will be in my collection soon, and I will report back to you with why I think Wyatt Earp is my favorite. And it's a history set to go on top of that.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I actually won all the Marvel boxes at a convention in a raffle for free. So I have like Brains and Brawn, all 6 of those. The Luke Cage box, you need She-Hulk, all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And Sarah and I have gone through and played all of them now. And it's great. It's simple. There's different mechanics for each person. And like you said, you can have the most randomest people fight against each other. And it's amazing.
And the artwork on the cards alone, you could sleeve them and hang them up on your wall. The art is amazing. Mm-hmm. One of the cool things when I was, learning about this game is they would have fan-made decks, and like a couple of the fan-made decks won contests, and they produced them. Like I think Rosie the Riveter was one. I think Houdini and the Genie was all fan-made, and then they're like, all right, let's take this. And they they run it through their tweaks and everything and release it. And it's just really cool. Mm-hmm. If you got into it late, Bruce Lee and Deadpool were very hard to get and going to fetch a pretty penny to get. I was lucky enough to be gifted them for Christmas one year.
Nice. Same with Buffy, right?
Buffy's hard to get now too. Yeah. The Jurassic Park ones are hard to get. And I remember Barnes and Nobles had them on clearance, and I'm like, should I pick them up and just resell? I'm like, nah, I'm not going to be that guy. But yeah, I love Unmatched, so I'll buy anything they put out.
Very nice, very nice. All right, my number 2 is
which is number 2? Which one is it?
Oh, it'll be obvious. There's certain people who know. I've played this over Discord with many times with people. Done it co-op, done it solo. I'm just trying to throw you off here and what number 2 and number 1 are going to be, because it explained that both of them. This is a very IP themed game, and I love it. I just completed the set recently by getting the last hero pack for it, and that is Marvel Champions.
Okay.
It moved up drastically up my list, and there is so much in this game that I haven't even touched yet. And I'm working through the one-shots challenges that Fantasy Flight Games is doing for it, or has done for it. They just completed season 2. Mm-hmm. And it's just ridiculous how you can play Wolverine against Green Goblin. You can do all of this different stuff, Now, I apologize for those of you that are trying to get into Marvel Champions right now. The state of the game isn't great with pretty much everything beyond 2 years is out of print.
Yeah.
And now, like you were saying with Unmatched, you're saying, oh, maybe I just buy it and then I resell it. You can resell Marvel Champions hero stuff for an arm and a leg at this point, which is very frustrating for those that want others to get into the game, because there's a lot of gatekeeping of who can get into the hobby, get into the game itself, and who cannot. But the game itself, I have, by the same token, deluxe pieces that have a different unique player board, unique tokens that can be used with it. There's so much with this game. I have a ridiculous storage system for it that is villain, all that. And it's one of those that I need to play more with Barrows, but we got distracted by Vantage for a little bit. And then we went back to Marvel, and it's just one of those. I have a 1x50 for it this year, where I'm hoping to play it 50 times. And I mean, it's not even going to scratch the different combinations that I could have, because I play it true solo. You can play it two-handed as well, but I just prefer it true solo. It's no difference. I mean, you're gonna win or lose faster or slower in 2-player based off of the villain having more health at 2 players than 1 player. So you just have to build your decks better or more strategic to match up to the villain you're going up against.
So do you enjoy the deck building part of it, or do you mainly use the pre-generated decks?
Oh no, there's a website, Marvel CDB, that I use. I don't personally create my own decks.
Okay.
I let other geniuses do that and steal their ideas to make decks out of them. But everything is torn up. But so like in the hero packs, you get a pre-constructed deck of that hero. And then you get additional cards like a sideboard that you can put in or out or use for other decks. I take those out and I have them completely sorted by aspect type. So I will 100% be deck building always with this.
Gotcha. And you know, you were saying you play true solo one-handed. I guess you'd rather play, instead of playing two-handed solo, you'd rather play 2 games with one with this one and then one with this one. Like
and it
just goes faster.
Right. And it's really getting the decks put together. The way my organization's set up, I can get decks put together in 10 minutes. So it's not a grinded out process of figuring out how I'm doing this. It's more of, okay, what combination? And there's also another site too that's really cool. I don't know the URL off the top of my head, but it's in the Marvel Champions Discord channel in the Tabletop Express Discord, that you can randomize what it is. You choose which items you have in the set, and it'll randomize it and say, okay, you're going to go up against the Hood with X23 and have these different encounters with it. So you let the randomizer figure it out for you. You say, I want to play this person, but I don't want to play this villain. You can randomize the villain afterwards. So it makes it very easy in figuring out, okay, this play I'm doing this play I'm doing that, and working towards it. So
awesome. Well, now that I see your number 2, I definitely know your number 1. I don't know if you can guess my number 1.
I feel like I should know it, but also I was very thrown off by the light games early on in comparison to gradually working up with viticulture and then 2 Castles of Burgundy and all that.
Well, I will say it is our only crossover.
Okay.
And
okay. I know what it is then. Yep. Okay.
Dune Imperium.
You want me to, yep.
Yeah. I mean, you said it right. I mean, the work I talked about earlier, worker placement and deck building, 2 of my things, and just, you know, the scarceness of the resources is so much fun. the battles at the end and you deciding when you want to go all out for that first place prize, or if you're okay with the second or third prize, to save your people for the next one, where maybe the victory points are greater as a reward for winning the battle. The tie-in with the movie, that way it makes it accessible to people who've only seen the movie, but also knowing the lore behind it with all the books and everything. I mean, I've only read 3 of the books, I think, but I've read the first one a couple times. I mean, the first one's great.
I'll just say, don't worry about books 4 through 6.
That's why I did not. I've been told that by multiple people. But you know, it came out right when like I did a reread. The movie came out, which I'm a huge fan of. The mechanisms are top of my mechanisms that I like. The theme. I'm not the biggest Dune person, but I enjoy Dune, and just the going up on the tracks when you go to the different houses. I really enjoy that. The fight and tug of war just for 1 point. It's very meaningful to get those points because they're hard to get. And I've only ever played base game. I have not done any of the expansions, which I know you said, you know, you will always play with them, and I want to. I just, you know me, haven't found them on deals yet. So I'm not.
There is one expansion that I don't think I would ever play without. I can't remember if it's Immortality or Rise of Ix, but there's a token that you get within one of the expansions that allows you to wipe the row of cards. So it's a one-time use in the game, but it's a way same card's been sitting up there for however long. You don't want it. Nobody else wants it. You can just wipe it, get a fresh look of cards out there. And it's very nice. It's like Marine Worlds with Arc Nova. It speeds up and allows other possibilities.
Well, I mean, if expansions probably would only enhance how much I like this game, but you can't go more than one.
That's right. That is true. I get you. Now, for you, would you ever? You asked me this. Would you ever replace Uprising with Imperium?
I've never played Uprising.
Okay.
I've only played Imperium. I mean, I'm a collector as well, so I would probably. It would only be would I have both, not would I replace.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah.
So number 1, Dune Imperium crossover with your 13. Our only crossover of the night.
All right, my number 1, and I play this on Discord monthly as best as possible with a fellow Tabletop Expresser. I can only blame but thank Mr. Rao for turning me onto this game and bringing this to my attention. I have everything. I have the big fancy storage box for it. It's gone through 3 iterations. It is Ashes Reborn, now Ashes Ascendancy. I could talk for hours about this. If you need to see where I'm active on the Discord, it's going to be Ashes Reborn or Marvel Champions. There's the deck building aspect with this game is phenomenal. I've played it PvP once, which can be done with it, but the PvE experience is above and beyond. You can play it solo, you can play it co-op. The dice rolling can manipulate how good or bad the game can go. Oxerator and myself will traditionally say we have Ryan rolls for Mr. Rao because we roll so poorly sometimes with the Chimera that is the boss in the Red Rains version of it. But there's so much with this game, and Nick Connolly and Plaid Hat Games do such a good job with this, and they're only continuing it with Ascendancy. There's an expansion coming out in Q2 that I'll be getting on the release day and essentially cracking it open and probably playing it as soon as possible. So there's new era to this. The recent one is a little more beginner friendly, which is fine, and because it's getting those new people into the game. The one thing I do preach about this that Fantasy Flight and Marvel Champions does not do is that Ashes Reborn or just Ashes in general has a print on demand option, where there are some products now for Ashes that are out of print, but you can go the print on demand route and get that deck and get it sent to you. It's all through Plaid Hat Games and Ashes specifically. So I don't know what the card quality is, but I would argue that it's going to be close to or just as good as what the standard is for it.
Yeah. And I mean, this one, I see all the amount of content it has. I see, the discussions in the Discord about it. And I'm like, I guess my only question is like, how does a beginner jump in and just start? You know what I mean? And I assume originally was this Rise of the Phoenixborn set, right? The base set.
Yeah, that was the last era of it. It's evolved into Ashes Ascendancy now.
Okay.
So that base box is going to be the one you're going to want to get.
Okay.
It's a good jumping point. That, or because I'm not sure how easily accessible the Rise of the Phoenixborn base box is anymore, or if it's being printed.
Okay.
So
Red Rains is another one, right? Red Rains.
Yeah, Red Rains is the solo set that was what got Solo into it with the Reborn era of the game.
Okay.
Because there's, oh boy, I should know this. 6 expansion boxes for Ashes Reborn, if not 7. Something like that. It's the amount of Magic dice there are, and the ones that are pictured aren't all of them. There's a few more, and it's neat because there's like the ceremonial dice or the black dice on there are. There's a goat on there. There's a wolf on the illusion. The nature has a frog. It's endless abilities. And you can mix and match. Oxrator and I could play for hours and hours with this and never bore of it. We've lost in an hour, and we've came from behind in games and just somehow miraculously won it. It was and can have crazy outcomes. So
awesome. Well, we did it.
1 through 20.
We survived a tornado. Well, not way, but I'm lumping myself. We survived a tornado.
Yeah, tornado. My power is still probably out at home right now. I appreciate carrying the stream until I was able to make it in, and I'm in my car at the public library, outside the public library, using their Wi-Fi at the moment. It's working, so I appreciate you all bearing through the technical difficulties.
And it's been cool watching you, and in the background, just some lightning flashing sometimes. Gives a little.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting for cars to drive by and wonder what I'm doing sitting in a parking lot.
I was kind of hoping a cop came up to the window or something.
On that note, on Thursday, Chris's top 20 board games of all time. Again, same time, 9 Eastern for you guys, correct? 8 Central?
Yes.
I
believe Ruel is
yes.
joining Barris as well. Always good to see him from Tabletop Tonight, I believe his channel is. Yeah, that'll be a fun time. I'm pretty sure of a couple that's going to be on there. I'm excited to see what new is going to pop on Chris's list. And then, of course, eventually we'll get Anthony, I'm assuming, Arwin, Danny,
yep,
Community. And then, we'll get on Discord, discuss what our honorable mentions were and what fell off and what moved the most, and have all kinds of fun with this. But, thank you for taking the time, Tyler. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Express. And
thank you guys
on the Pollen Show.
Go Cowboys.